Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, and welcome to the Just Keep Swimming podcast. This is your host, your friend, your boy, Mr. Adrian Jackson, and we back in the studio again with another great episode for you. And you already know who with me, the one only, the legend, Mr.
1-3. Bring it back to English, baby. Un trois. Yes, sir, on the set. 1-3. 1-1-1. Oh, I did that backwards. I did 3. Well, you know we goofing today. It's always a goofing day.
yes. Y'all feeling all good today, bro?
Yeah. I took a short nap. Hit the gym.
Right.
We cool right now.
Right.
Well, might work with this rapper after this session. So.
Oh, okay. I like it. I love it, man. Keep growing, man. Yes, and so you already know we have another great episode for you guys, and we actually had to bring it back to the love topic that we were talking on. And before we dive right into it, I just want to say this episode is sponsored by Vegas Vibrations. Be on the lookout for the Third Eye Activation Weekend happening April 1st through April 3rd. To learn more information, go to Vegas Vibrations on IG, VegasVibrations, hosted by Adam from Adam Mentor. So make sure to check that out. You don't want to miss it. It's going to be an amazing weekend. And with all that being said, let's dive right into it. I have some very, very special guests with me today. Somebody who used to beat me up when I was younger all the time, but she always showed me so much love. And, you know, her wonderful, wonderful, amazing spouse is in the studio today. So I'm going to bring to the microphone my lovely big sister, Tiera, and Mr. Joey. How we doing today, y'all?
Hello. She turned her attention to me. Now I get beat now, so.
Yeah, I know. I appreciate it, man. You took my spot, bro. Because she used to bully the hell out of us. You know? Second, let her babysit for a night. Well, we was like getting beat up, eating piece of crust, no milk.
The youngest one getting neglected while she on the phone talking to her friend.
Man, walk around as a diaper full of crap and can't do nothing.
I was on the phone.
That's the one memory I remember from childhood about Tiera.
Man, send me down the street, see if the homie's home so she can come out and hang out with us so she can see him. Yeah, I remember all that stuff. But yes, you guys. How you guys doing today? Y'all good?
We're good.
Yep. Happy it's Friday.
Yes, Friday. You can't beat that for sure.
End of the week.
Yes, end of the week. About to start a great weekend to come. So, I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait to relax. You know, I can't wait for my Sunday, my Sabbath. Yeah. But, so the reason I brought you guys on today is to talk about a topic that I feel you guys could touch on for sure. Definitely with everything you guys have going on. So today's topic is parenting with love. So I just want to talk about what it takes to be a parent, definitely in today's time, in today's world, with all this craziness going on. And, I'm pretty sure you guys can offer some tips or some insight on what you guys going on, because you guys have 5 kids, correct?
Yes.
Shout out to all my nieces and nephews. I knew the answer, but I just had to make sure. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes there's one slipping around. You always forget one somewhere. But yes. So my very, very first question to start it off is how do you guys deal with so many personalities? Cause I know everybody has their own personality. Everybody is different. Everybody's unique. So how do you guys deal with that?
It's funny because we were just talking about that today and yesterday. Actually, it's a
common
very frequent topic.
Especially since Nikki's getting her own now.
Yes. Because initially, I know when we first got together and we have a blended family, and we were trying to make all of these different people. They're young, but they're still people, and their personalities match up. I would do one thing as a family, let's all go skating, and then I'd be confused about why one person is really not enjoying this. This should be fun for everybody. Why don't you like it?
Right.
And then I realized after a couple of long, hard years that, like you said, everyone is different. They all have their own personality. So I started taking one of them shopping at a time so I could focus on their style and what they're looking for and what they want. Because I found that when I took all of the kids at once, it was just too chaotic. I was impatient, they're impatient, nobody's happy. We're just throwing stuff in the cart and we get home and nobody's happy with what they got. So I started taking that one-on-one time to take them each individually to really focus on them and give them that time.
Right.
And just recently, I have been even making the extra step to find something that we can bond on that's not outside of their personality.
Right.
Like it has to be something that they're into and I'm into naturally, so it doesn't feel forced.
Right. Like you and Lizzie did the hair recently together.
Exactly. And me and Naya love stalker movies and scary shows and stuff, so we watch that together. Like me and Mariah like to play different video games and see who can beat each other. It's just about finding common ground with each person, so that way you do have that bond and they do feel like that they're an individual versus just a part of the pack.
Right. No, and I think I love what you said at the very beginning was, sorry about that, not kids, people. You know what I'm saying? You're realizing that, I'm helping these people grow into who they're about to be. I think that's magical right there, so, yes.
Yeah, and I think it's important, too, to realize early in the stages we weren't doing it right, and that's why it took us a few years. But it is true, they're all different people, and I feel like if we don't let them be their individual selves and treat them as they want to be treated versus how we want to treat the group, it's going to hold them back in life and not let them be their true selves. I mean, we have one daughter that is, in the LGBTQ group. One of our daughters loves boys, too many of them. The youngest two are not really into it right now, but they're all awesome in their own way. And basically, yeah, and even me, Tiera's been making this thing about doing different things with them. But my biggest challenge was to honestly try to listen to what they're all saying to me, because they all have different things to say to me.
Yes.
And truly listen.
Yes.
Because it's easy when you don't relate to what they're talking about to fade off your mind and think about something else. But the concentration portion to show that I'm really caring about what they're saying, because I do care.
Right.
So that's been my biggest challenge, and just trying to get to know them on a base level, so that way when they become adults and then they need us or we need them, we have that connection with everybody separately, because eventually they're all going to be split.
Right. Yeah. Everybody can go and do their own paths, their own ways, but at the same time, mom and dad gonna be together. So
Yeah.
I like that. So do you guys feel that it's not really a my way or the highway mentality? Like it's more of you guys have to adjust to them, not them adjusting to you, I guess?
Well, the beginning it was exactly that. It was our way or the highway. We didn't really do things correctly now that we reflect back on it, but we have gotten to a point now where we let them make their own decisions, and if we see that they're making a questionable decision, we try to ask them why they're making that decision, and these are the potential consequences with that decision. They can still make that choice if they want to.
I love it.
Like our oldest, she wanted to go to a different school because she's been going to the same school since elementary school, and she's now in high school.
Right.
So she wanted to try something different, and she's been doing phenomenal. She's gonna be able to get a certificate and all this stuff, but it's across town. Tiera has to drive an hour there, an hour back every single day to go get these girls and stuff like that. But those are the sacrifices that we're willing to make for each one of these guys. And it doesn't matter if all 5 of them decide on a different school, we'll make it work.
Right.
Because, like we said, one glove doesn't fit all.
Right.
So, I mean, they all have to choose their own destinies and follow their own paths. And we're here to guide them, not stop them.
Right.
And going back to, is it my way or the highway? It kind of has to be a mixture of both, because we do have to teach them.
Right.
They do need to know how to do like chores and take care of themselves, and things that you just have to do to function and be a functionable adult. Is that functionable word?
No, not me.
It is now.
I mean, a real adult. Yeah. Functional
All right,
yeah.
so a functional adult. How about that? But we also do have to recognize their different personalities, their different challenges, their different strengths, because no person is the same, and help them build off of those strengths, but also help them work on the challenges and accept them within themselves. Because even for me, like that's something I just learned recently, is how to love myself and accept myself even with my faults, because no one's perfect. And I just really want them to learn that now, because it would put them like so far ahead of the curve, because that's not something that we were taught growing up. And old school mentality is very much my way or the highway.
Very much.
So
still is sometimes.
Yeah.
And on top of that too, like she said, it is a combination, but we've learned, and I feel like we're kind of mastering this way of tackling them in the way that they need to be tackled. I mean, the way we talk to Anaya and approach something with her is going to be completely different what we do with Lizzie, or completely how we talk about it with Mariah, because they all have their ways and their own triggers that they'll shut down.
Right.
And we've learned that over time of being their parents. So now we learned that when we have to have a discussion, we need to do it in a very different diplomatic way with every single one of them.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right.
No.
Okay.
I like how you tailor it to each one of them, because that's just important, and that's honestly with any relationship in life at that point.
But it takes a lot of work.
It takes a lot of learning.
A lot of time.
learning.
Yes, because it's like after you went through the day of working and driving back and forth and dropping people off and picking them up and cooking dinner and doing your chores, and then at the end of the night, one of our kids need emotional support. I need to gather this strength and this energy to focus on them, even though I really just want to take a shower and go to sleep.
That's 6 to 11.
Yeah, 6 to 11.
Exactly.
On the daily.
So, real talk then, how do you find the strength to do all that? Like you said, you have to go work your own work shift. On top of that, you get texts from Anaya on the side and trying to deal with her gossip at school and stuff like that. And then you have to cook dinner at work. Come home, cook dinner. I know JoJo's probably wilding out. You have to do so much. So it's
Homework.
like, how do you find the energy? Like, what do you do to
It's
get that?
It's definitely a divide and conquer. There's times where there is a discussion that we feel that I need to host with that person, and there are definitely discussions that I am not touching, and not going to be the best person for the job. You know what I mean? But then on the backside of that too, the way we find the strength is through each other, because even after we deal with all our stuff, all their stuff,
Right.
I will listen to her stuff. She will listen to my stuff.
Yeah.
And then we are done at that point.
And then we're just like, okay, good night.
Yeah.
Pass out.
Yeah, pass out. Do it again in the morning. Break.
I love it.
Teamwork.
Yeah, no, teamwork makes a dream work,
Yeah.
and that's you guys are doing a great job. You guys are a beautiful team for sure. I'm so glad to see the team. So I guess that's gonna lead to my next question is at the beginning of the interview, sis, you guys are talking about how you guys are a blended family. So I was wondering, like, this part gonna be a two-parter. How was it trying to blend the family? Like, how was that process?
Well, at the start, challenging. Naya and Mariah felt like I was taking their mom away from them. I know they probably felt some way about the other kids too, kind of invading their space and them having less space than they had originally.
Right.
But I know that over time, there was little struggles with jealousy about who's getting what attention at what time and how much of it, and I'm not getting that much, and them not seeing like when someone would get in trouble, and then they would be like, well, how come you're never yelling at anybody else or talking to anybody else? You're always talking to me. But they didn't see that we did that with the other kid just the other night, but it wasn't in front of them, of course. So it was a lot of unseen things and perspectives on things. But over time, it kind of mashed itself in on its own, because they all begin to love each other naturally over the course.
Talk to each other more.
Yes.
And they kind of understand what's going on in each other's individual lives.
Right.
And they realize that it's not just about them. Like, they have siblings, and as a collective, we have to be there for each other. But like, aside from the kids' feelings, you also have to like realize that Joey and I came from completely different upbringings.
Exactly.
Like, his parents were together his entire life, and they lived in the same house the entire time.
Right.
My parents were not together. My mom was married to someone else. I had a stepdad. We moved to Virginia. We moved back. We moved to Virginia again and moved back. I had step siblings and half siblings at my house, and it was just never. And we never had like an affectionate environment. Like, we didn't say I love you. We didn't hug and kiss all the time.
Yeah.
And Joey and his family, they're very affectionate. They're like, every time they see them, hugs, kisses, like, I love you, son, I miss you, son. And I was like, that's not normal. And he's like, why don't you guys love each other? I'm like, we do, but we don't do that. You know, like, so like us coming from different backgrounds, cultures, upbringing, situations, and then bringing in kids on top of that and trying to figure out each other as 7 different people trying to figure out each other, like it's a lot. And I mean, ultimately it does make us stronger in the end, but it was a rough road, and there were a lot of hiccups and misunderstandings, and it's just part of it.
Life.
Headaches, I understand, but I mean, y'all blended that bad boy.
Yeah.
I can't even see the smudge right now. Y'all blended that bad boy so good.
And on top of that, what makes it even more difficult than normal parenthood too, I feel, is X factors. We have Jeff is Anaya's biological father. We have Aaron, which is Mariah's father.
Shout outs.
We have shout outs. We have Skyly, which is Lizzie and JoJo's mom. And there's a lot of extra personality there too, and a lot of opinions, and a lot of beliefs, and a lot
grandparents,
of conflicting
sisters,
stuff.
siblings. Yeah.
So to balance all that out at the beginning, the first few years was extremely, I think that was probably more of a challenge for us than anything was, because of how challenging other people were making our relationship and their opinions on
Like, we
us.
have enough under this roof.
Exactly.
So count all the outside factors and different family members, and it was crazy.
So, oh my bad, I mean cut you off, Joey. But I was gonna ask, so based off the outside X factors on the outside, like, how did you deal with that? Did you have to get to the point of I don't care what they say, or was it more of like how did you deal with that?
It's kind of a little bit of both. It's still listening what they say, because ultimately Lizzie and JoJo love their mom to death.
Right.
You know what I mean? Mariah loves her dad to death. Anaya, her dad, that's a different story. That's still a problem on his end. And his loss, in my opinion.
Yes, 100%.
But I think it all comes down to when it comes to a point where it's like you get past feelings with those people. We don't have feelings with Aaron, Jeff, or Skyly anymore. We respect them for their position with our kids.
Right.
We know that they are essential for our kids' happiness, and we respect them in that accord. But it is a balancing act of not letting them dictate what we do in our lives and trying to throw their opinions into our household, with still respecting maybe the things that we think are extra that they try to do, but that we don't allow in, and just being respectful at the end of the day, and not for those individuals, but for the ones we love here in this house.
Right.
So it's like an acknowledgement and respect, but not integration into the household.
Correct. We've tried to definitely integrate and let people in a little closer at times, with it backfiring almost immediately every single time. So we definitely keep at arm's length. We're friendly, we're patient, and we're nice, but we're not pushovers. You know what I mean? Like, this is our house.
Right. No, this is your castle for sure. I feel you on that one.
What's the boundary?
There's boundaries, but we've worked it out to where and also, just like getting to know these guys' personalities, we really had to get to know each other's exes' personalities too, so they wouldn't drive us crazy.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because they are who they are too, and now that we both know who they are, we're very understanding of what the situation is.
Right, where they
so
came
we don't
from.
get upset.
Understandable. It's like, oh, okay, I see where you came from. I see why you chose me. Because that girl crazy as hell. That dude hella awkward.
Exactly.
I truly understand. So, let's stop looking at the dark side now. Let's look at the positive side. What is like the biggest blessing of all the kids besides your refund check? Your tax check.
They didn't help us this year. I think, honestly, the same thing was with the struggles is all their personalities, right? Like, I have, even though I'm dad or stepdad or Joey, whatever they want to call me, I am definitely blessed to have friendships to an extent. I'm definitely not their friend at the end of the day. I'm
Still Joey.
still Joey. I'm still stepdad. I'm still dad. But I'm blessed every day when I get a text message from one of them asking me how my day was. I come home, they ask me how my day was. I'm greeted when I come to the door. I know that I'm loved. I know that what I just did all day is why I did it, and why I do it every single day. I know that one day, just like how I love my parents and I would help them in their dire needs, just like as we've helped our parents when they needed it, they will do it as well. But yeah, I just really enjoy all their personalities, getting to know them, getting to talk to them about their situations, what's going on with them, and being able to be actually more candid with them. We are definitely not parents anymore. That we talked about a little bit at the beginning about the world and how crazy it is and all that stuff. We're candid with our kids. We don't shelter them from the evils of the world. We don't shelter them for the good of the world. When they move out, they're going to face it. And if we shelter them from it,
know what it is.
They're going to be shocked.
Yeah.
So they know the evils. We talk about this stuff going on in Ukraine with them. They struggle with it as well. But we let them vocalize it.
Yeah.
And I love that. I love that I can be like that and be someone that they can talk to about everything.
Right. No, and that's beautiful right there, Joey. I think that right there is really, really amazing because, you know, they start learning the ability to vocalize with you guys. You know, definitely talk about the things, the hard feelings, and you know, just me personally, I wish I would have had that ability more when I was younger, because I felt like I wouldn't be a better speaker, or I would be able to get my experiences out there better, you know. So I really do love that.
And like for me, like it was very easy, like years back, to look at this all as work. You know, like this is just another thing I have to do. Like this person's putting something else on my plate. Like I've had enough, but it's not actually that. Like I feel like it's actually fulfilling. Like it's making my life better. Like I'm excited to be like, Naya, that show we were watching, the new season's out. Like let's go watch our show. Like I'm happy to do that. You know, Lizzie let me dye her hair pink a couple months ago, and that was fun. And we're gonna play with makeup this weekend. You know, me and Mariah were playing like the new Mario Party, Animal Crossing, and all that stuff. JoJo's like all about Mario, so I can get down with that any day. Like I'm like, let's play Mario. And Nicole is the youngest, and she's the one that Joey and I had together to kind of like bind the family. It's like going full circle.
Right.
And at the end of the day, she just wants to like lay next to me and cuddle and talk to me about her, you know, videos and stuff.
Yeah.
And it's all just amazing. Like I love everything now, instead of feeling like, you know, everything. It's just basically looking at the glass half full and not half empty. Yeah.
And just kind of tag on to that, like these little things that could be considered as chores, right? I'm teaching my oldest Naya how to drive. And at those times, yeah, and surprisingly, she's doing very well.
Hey.
But, you know, those are the times that with her and I, we're alone, and we really get into some deep discussions about stuff. And those are the moments I cherish with her. Even though I'm doing a quote-unquote chore, I'm teaching someone how to drive on my time off.
You're bonding, though.
It's a bonding moment, right? Lizzie today, I took her across town, drove an hour to get there, drove an hour back. Traffic like crazy, of course. But besides the traffic, I'm bonding. I'm talking to her. It gave me an hour with my daughter. How many more of those rides am I going to have left before that's over?
Right, fair.
You know what I mean? And you can't take those for granted, because those are locked in time that you can not replace.
Yeah, I can't.
You can't. And I'm only going to have so many more of those. You know, I have a few more years with Naya, 6 more years with Mariah and Lizzie. You know what I mean? And I only get so many of those in the course of those years to have those times. And then they're adults and they're kind of doing their own thing. You know what I mean?
Relationship changes.
Yeah, exactly. It's going to be a whole flip. You know, Mariah likes me to come down here and play video games. She doesn't want to play, but she wants to watch me. Same time, Nikki's cheering me on like my biggest cheerleader, and I'm a god at the video game. Even if I'm dying, I'm still a god. It doesn't matter.
She's like, Daddy's so strong.
Yeah.
He's the best. Yeah. Daddy hit him. And I'm like, he's losing, Nikki. He's losing.
Yeah. Doesn't matter though. I'm still a god.
Bleeding out right now. Where's his team?
In JoJo, he just wants me to play some video games with him and, you know, hang out with him. He'll come just hug me randomly. And actually, out of all the kids, funny enough, JoJo is the one, even when he's with his mom at the other house, he will video call me random times of the day just to say hi, ask me what I'm doing, ask me about my day.
Tell you jokes.
Tell me a random joke of the day. You know what I mean? So it's all different, but I always think about it as how many of these am I going to have?
Right.
You know what I mean? Until it's over.
Appreciation.
Yeah.
Even the chores.
That's real. I think that's 100% real because, you know, you kind of feel that definitely, you know, Anaya's age and going to high school, you start to realize how important these things are because, you know, I felt it when I went to college. You know, I was out there by myself and it was like, dang, I miss being just talking to my dad randomly about stuff. Or, you know, somebody's going to pick me up and go to my mom's house and stuff. I'm really out here stuck now. So I think it's very, very important to make those moments right now and really just build that strong bond so you know that it'll never be broken in the future.
Yeah.
You know, I think that's amazing. That's amazing. So another question we want to talk about is I know that, like you said, we're all from different cultures. We all have a different upbringing. Everybody's parents are different. We all learn something different. So this is actually a two-parter. My first question is what is one thing that you learned from your parents that you don't want your kids to learn?
One thing I learned from my parents is being preoccupied with things even when they didn't need to be, instead of hanging out with us. Growing up, we didn't have dinner at the table together.
Right.
Everyone kind of, like us kids did, we went and sat at the table, but my dad was eating in his room, my mom would eat in the living room, whatever the case may be. Unfortunately, large part of my childhood, my dad worked a lot. He worked double shifts all the time, and when he was home, he was either sleeping or laying in his bed watching TV. Not playing football with me, not out doing things. Once in a great while, we'd go out to a park on a weekend day or something like that. But it's something that I was actually talking to my therapist about, and I finally was able to unload on my dad a little bit, not in a mean way, but tell him, like, I missed you, dude. Like, for like 7 years, you weren't there.
Right.
And I told him, I know you were trying to pay the bills. I know, as an adult, I know what you were doing.
I understand it now.
But we lost it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? At the same time, we lost, and he said that's his biggest regret of his life. So that was a really heartfelt moment, and that's something that, even though I pick up a shift here and there from another place, you know, this one, my wife is always telling me, why are you doing this? Why are you working over there? Stop it. You know, after this, no more. You know, and she's done. So she always keeps me grounded. Even when I think I get that from my dad, is I'm always trying to get that extra hustle.
Right.
But what am I losing for that extra hustle? Is it really worth
Right. Is the
the
$few
dollar
really worth the time and the memories that you could have made just now?
I was gonna say, like, I feel like I thank my mom for making that change for me because you know, she used to work the graveyard shifts at the jail. As soon as she come home, she just sleep, and then I never see her. And it's like, yo, where you at?
And it hurts.
Yeah, it hurts. Yeah,
Low key, you know that they're working, you know that they're paying bills, but at the same time, you're like, hey,
because
I'm
starting to not know who you are.
yeah.
So
And over the last, probably a good last 10 years, I've got to know my dad more than my whole childhood. You know what I mean? Which is wild, you know? But I know he's always loved me and he's always been there and stuff like that when he could be. But yeah, it's just about time, man.
Right.
And time is, we all know, time's crazy. Years fly by like weeks.
You never know what's gonna happen. Like how Tiera was talking about the little the murder that happened not too long ago today. Like, shoot. I'm not gonna break the whole thing down, but some girl just lost her mom.
Yeah.
And within a night over something who knows, probably really dumb. You know.
And what do you remember at that point if all they did was work?
Exactly. If all they did was work, you don't remember nothing about them. But my dad worked and he used to feed us. So
He's gone.
I understand that.
Yeah.
I truly do. What about you, sis?
My biggest thing that I learned is just not to, you always need to have an open mind. Especially with today's world. Let's go back 50, 60 years. You know, someone that thinks that black people are less than are going to teach their kids to be racist. You can't think like that. or let's even go deeper and say, oh, this woman is transgender. She was a man, but now she's a girl. And like people back then would be like, what's wrong with them? Like that's not natural, blah, blah, blah. Like it doesn't take all of your opinions out of it.
Right.
If you love your child, you will be there and you will support them regardless.
Right.
Like all the extra stuff doesn't matter. And I think a lot of like older people, they probably do regret, you know, the things that they've said or making people feel bad. And, you know, some of them don't. And that's unfortunate. But my biggest learning is stay open-minded.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. No, I think that right there is, you know, beyond powerful. Of course, we have the same daddy, so
Yeah.
you know how that was. But yeah, no, that's one thing I always wish. It was just like, yo, just be a little more open-minded. Just listen a little more. Like, we're not all the same. Like how you said, we're not all the same. You can't treat me like Dominic, like you treat Doug. You gotta treat me different.
Yeah.
You know?
Exactly. And I think not something that I dealt with as a child, but something that I see frequently in a lot of families too, is you have the really successful children and the quote unquote not as successful children. And then they're kind of like quoted as the black sheep
They're
or
treated
this.
differently, yeah.
Treated differently, right? My thing is, any of these 5 kids, whether they're billionaires or they're making it paycheck to paycheck, as long as they are happy with what they have, their lives, and their support system, I don't care.
Right.
I don't care what they have. I don't care what they make. I don't care what job they have. You know what I mean? Like, all that's irrelevant. Bottom of the line is happiness. You got to be happiness with your world. And if your happiness with your world is good and you're fine making it the way ever you make it, who am I to judge you?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. No, and that's it. My job is here to love you. I'm just here to love and support you and to root you on your path, to be your cheerleader. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And I feel that. I feel that to the fullest because, you know, a lot of parents, you do see it. Like, I was actually talking to my coworker about that the other day. Her mom is mad because she's the only person in the family who's like an accountant. You know, she's Asian, doctors, lawyers. You know how it be.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
because she's the accountant, she's really seeing that. I always thought it was the movie stuff, but no, it's real life. Like, they're really mad at this girl because she's not a doctor or a lawyer. She didn't marry the president of whatever. You know, and it's like, you really mad off that stuff? Like, you can't just love your daughter and be happy? Or why you keep trying to hook her up with Brandon? Like, it's crazy how stuff like that really happens.
And that's all wasted energy.
It is.
Like,
Yeah.
you're wasting energy on this stuff that doesn't matter. And in the meantime, you're losing time and you're going to regret it.
Yes.
Like,
I feel like if I were to have kids or anything of the sort, I would say like I'd be proud of their character and how they turn around. I'd be focused on that rather than whatever they do. It's just, are they treating people with respect? Are they treating themselves with respect? Are they loving themselves and other people with, you know, purity the best they can? Like, if that's all that matters, then like, shoot, you're doing a great service to the world.
yep.
No, and that's real because I think Vanjie says it all the time. Like, I can't remember the exact words she said, but she's like, all my kids are respected citizens or well-rounded citizens or whatever way she says it. But like, she's like, yes, we all struggle. They all have their problems, but they're respectful. They're honest. They're not thieves. They're not, you know, in jail.
Yeah.
They're doing the right things. They're moving forward in their life.
Yeah. And
I mean, you don't know you a convict, but that's a different story. That's a different story, though.
Check out the past episode for
I
that
actually
story.
posted that 2 days ago.
Oh yeah, I did. I saw that.
But that was your fault. I told you not to go.
Yeah, and something that's crazy. You guys all know who Tyson Fury is, right? The boxer, heavyweight champion of the world.
Yeah.
Okay.
I thought me for sure. Okay.
Yeah. So to talk about being wealthy and talk about, you know, your friend that was, you know, judged because she's an accountant or whatever it is. Tyson Fury, I was listening to an interview with him, and this just brings it all home. Millions and millions and millions in dollars this guy had, right? He was the champion of the world, undisputed, super depressed.
Hates his life.
Went to be an alcoholic, was doing drugs, wanted to kill himself at a time. To come back from his depression, he doesn't even care about the money. You know what I mean? He's there for the competition now. He came back, he revitalized himself, but whether you're rich or you're poor, it doesn't matter. It's irrelevant.
Yeah.
It's for your happiness,
For your
anyways.
happiness, man.
Yeah,
Like, that's
it's irrelevant.
And I feel you. That's what really matters because there's a book called Fekete. What's the book called? It was written by one of the Rockefellers called like Still Something's Missing or something like that. And it's like billionaire, wrote a book called Still Something's Missing. Like, what is wrong? You know what I'm saying? So that lets me know that money is not the thing.
No.
You know what I'm saying? It's really the impact you're leaving on the world, what fulfills you on the inside. It makes you feel good. And everything fulfills somebody differently. You know, so I think that's beautiful, you guys. So that's gonna lead me to my next part of the question now. So the first part was one thing you don't want to teach kids. What is one thing you want all your kids to learn? Out of everything you guys teach them, what is like the one main thing you want them to learn?
I mean, it's a combo. I want them to be happy, but I also want, just like we're doing for them, I want them to treat others as they want to be treated. I don't want them to treat people a certain way, because the way I like to be treated is going to be completely different than Adrian or Tiera or Donovan.
Right.
And I want them to be really receptive when they're interacting with people, once they get to know them, about how that person likes to be talked to in a certain way, and be respectful in the manner of how that person wants you to be.
Right.
And not, when you notice you trigger someone, not to get angry and say, well, why are you acting like that? You know what I mean? Why are you acting like that? Because that wouldn't bother me. Well, I'm not you. So I just really would like them to hopefully get the sense of reading people and understanding what makes them tick, avoid that, and try to bring blessing and happiness to them instead. That's hopefully what they'll get as they get out of here.
Right. Beautiful. As they get out of here.
As they move.
Don't push them out so fast.
I don't want them to leave. I'm just saying, like, you know, when they all move out, I just hope that they take those values with them.
I like that. That's a beautiful value, though.
Yeah. And the biggest thing for me, and Joey knows this, and we were just talking about this yesterday also, is you have to learn how to love yourself. And I just recently learned that, like in less than 12 months. And it's easy to say it and you hear it all the time, but until you actually do it, you don't know what it means.
It's hard.
And it's hard to describe.
Yeah.
So if they could like figure that out at a young age and like know what they're worth, know how to respect themselves and set boundaries, and know how like people should be treating them and how they shouldn't be treating them, and also know how to treat people like Joey said, like if they can figure that stuff out, like I would be the happiest person in the world, because it makes all of the difference.
Right.
Like once you love yourself, everything else finds a way to just fall in place.
Yeah.
And the things that don't fall in place don't need to be there.
Right.
So that's like,
Those two go yin yang, high key.
Yeah, they are. Yeah.
And I feel personally, and same thing here, I'm still working on that.
Everybody is.
Love myself, right? Like I struggle with that a lot because I don't think very much of myself, but I'm working on it. But I think that is crucial for anybody, because the biggest problems, you know, you guys know I deal with bad anxiety, and I know we all deal with certain things, but your own demons and your own past and every little thing you've ever done is what makes you feel like you shouldn't be loved, right? And to a certain extent,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? But trying to stop being your biggest critic and be your biggest advocate is harder than even helping your best friend. Like, it's the hardest thing in the world because you have your own opinion about yourself and you feel like it's real. Even though the people around you tell you,
Like, what? I don't
what are
see
you
that.
talking about, you know?
But that's how I feel.
But it's how you feel, but trying to change it, trying to change the mindset, right? That's hard.
and protecting yourself against yourself.
Yeah.
Like if somebody said, Tiera, your brothers are stupid, I'd be like, you don't know my brothers. Like, they're not stupid. Adrian does da da da. Donovan does da da. Like, he can math you out of everything. You know, like, but if somebody said that to me, I wouldn't have that hype about myself.
Exactly.
You know, like, it's like, well, I don't think I'm stupid, but why'd she say that? Like, my feelings are kind of hurt. Like, you have to have that passion for yourself just like you do for the people that love
That's a
you
good point,
or
too.
that you love.
No, I think that right there is like a super nail on the head, because we did a whole episode on that, the power of words, you know, and it's like, you know, like you said, I want to sit here and call Joe, you a retarded, you know, I want to say that. I'll sit here and say that to me though. If I mess up, I'm dumb as what am I thinking? And it's like, why am I being mean to myself? Like
Exactly.
that? You know, and I think it does start with like right now. I would love to be able to teach kids, like, yo, if anybody call you stupid, I don't care if they're playing, joking around, whatever, correct them right then and there.
Yes.
You know, don't call me stupid.
So
find another word.
I love the time that I had with Anaya over at the house.
The grandparents.
Yeah.
She told me about like, cause she'd be saying like, "Oh, I'm dead," blah
Yeah.
blah blah, and then you told her to stop saying that, and I was like,
Because she said, "Oh, this is my 13th reason." I was
Yeah.
like, Anaya. Like,
13th reason.
yeah.
13
because
reasons why?
13 reasons why. Like, she's like, "This is my 13th reason." Like, because of this, I'm about to like kill myself.
yeah, it's like, your mom's right. Don't stop saying that. Yeah. And then, I mean, I know I have the habit of saying like, "Oh, I'm dead," or "I'm dying right now," but I'm trying to active. Like within the last couple of days, I'm like, "Yo, I'm alive right
Yeah,
now."
I'm
That's
alive right
funny,
now.
bro.
Like, don't say that.
I'm right, yeah.
Like, I get it, and it was a little entertaining at first, but that's not like a habit you want to get
You wanna
into. Like,
get
stop
into it.
saying that. Like, it's not actually a joke.
Yeah.
A lot of people are really
You're
struggling
manifesting.
with that.
You're manifesting. You're making yourself. You're killing your body every time you say
Like,
that.
I've dealt with depression, and I felt like I wanted to kill myself before. Like, it's just
At one
not.
point, me too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And sorry to bring up another athlete, but you guys know I love UFC, love like
Yeah.
combat, and I really respect those guys because I feel like in those women because they do something crazy that us normal people would never do.
Yeah.
Right.
Having fun.
But there's this
Right.
guy, my wife's actual boyfriend, Robert Whitaker. He went through a big depressional stage too.
Google him.
Yeah, Google him. Super hottie apparently. But so he was talking about he had a fight with the champ Israel Adesanya, and he got knocked out within 2 rounds, and he lost terribly. And he said, so the whole time between that fight, and they just recently fought again, but between that time, all he could think about in his head was that he wasn't as good as him. He couldn't land a finger on him. He couldn't do this to him. He couldn't do that to him. And then when he finally got to fight him again and improve his skill set a little bit more, not much more, but being more patient this time around, last time he rushed in, right?
Yeah.
He was actually not on his top notch game that night because he was emotional. But his whole mind played him like we were talking about our depression, right? Told him he couldn't do all these things, and then he went to a razor close draw with the champ. It was a completely different fight, and he even said it's crazy how your mind will tell you one thing and it's not reality.
Not at all.
But it just messes with you.
Yeah, no, and you know what? That goes back to one thing I learned. One of my favorite quotes is, "You don't have to believe everything you think."
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Just because it pops in your mind, you thought about it, like you have to stop believing that. Because like for me personally, one of my biggest things I used to tell myself a lot is I'm a mistake. You know, because my parents were never married. And, you know, they were never really together. I never actually saw them together, talk to each other, anything like that for a minor. You know what I'm saying? But then, literally, I'm not gonna lie, probably like a few days ago, I was listening to Joel Osteen. He said something. I was like, damn, I was telling myself that for a long time, and I had to stop telling myself that. I had to really start believing I'm truly here for a reason. You know? And yeah, I think once I started saying that, shit, the week got a lot better.
Yeah.
You know, but yeah, so it's like we have to really control what we think and
that's
not
what,
believe those things.
And that's why I want the kids to know, like, they have the power.
They have the power.
Like, if they want to do something, if their dream is to do something, like, they have the power to make it happen.
Right.
And manifest and, like, block out negativity and people that are not there for them and all that.
Yeah, no, I feel you on that one, sis. That's real, man. That's one thing I hope they learn too. I know they will learn it because you guys are teaching them for sure. So I'm actually going to lead to my last question then, and then we're going to start. Well, we're already about to wrap it up. So I got one more big question for you guys, and then we'll go back to our in-game questions. So my last question for you guys today is how do you guys make the family bond? Like, what do you guys really do to bond? I know, like earlier we were talking about how you had to deal with all the kids individually and learn each one's personality, but how do you really make that bond happen?
Well, little small things to start with. Every single time the kids all come back from their other parents' house, the first dinner of that week is family meeting. And we all talk about what'd you do at the other person's house, how was it, explain to me everything you guys did. Naya and Nikki obviously stay here full time, so they will tell the other siblings what they did. We will talk to them about what we did, and that's like the first little,
And it's like updates, like maybe guys have missing assignments. End of the quarter is Friday. Like, make sure you get your stuff in. We have, don't forget, we're going to Disneyland next month, and I bought the tickets. Like, rah, rah, rah. Like, it's a whole, like,
No, that's good.
agenda.
That's good, though. That's real good.
So everybody flips to the same page.
Yeah,
once
make sure
they
everybody's on the
reunite
same
again.
page. What's
Yeah,
going
and
on?
they know what's happening, because it's easy for us to forget that, like, Anaya lives here, so she knows I bought the Disneyland tickets, but Lizzie and Mariah don't,
Right.
because they weren't here, you know, like.
Yeah. And also, it's a collaboration with our extended family too. We have a lot of gatherings with Tiera's side of the family. We have a lot of things that we do at Grandma Ida's house, at your dad's house,
Right.
Vange's house. We do a lot of things like that. We do things with her sisters as well, and all their kids come and hang out with all the kids, which also gets them all to bond. My side of the family will do things with them as well. So there's plus the vacations. We take 3 or 4 vacations a year, typically, a couple of them with the kids, a couple of them without. But there's plenty of stuff throughout each month, each year, and even with their birthdays. We ask them what they want to do. If they want to go somewhere, they all go. We all go do this thing together. And it's that person's choice what we do that day.
And we have to talk to them and be like, I know this is not your thing, but sometimes when you love people, you do things that they like to do, and they're going to do that for you in return.
Yeah.
So that's like something that we talk to them often about, to, you know, let them know that if you have any kind of relationship, it can't be one-sided.
Right. It has to give and take.
Because that's the worst, right? We've all had people like that in our lives where you notice that you're bending over backwards all the time to go hang out with them or go do something that they want to do or whatever. And then you notice that it's not flipped back to you at any extent.
Yeah.
And that's the worst feeling, right? So that's kind of why we make them do certain things that they wouldn't traditionally want to do, but it's what that person wants to do on their birthday, so that's what they get to do.
Right.
So
No, I love that. Yeah, like you said, you gotta teach them that sacrifice right now. Like, yo, sometimes you have to suck it up. Do what your brother cares to do, or, you know, sometimes Dom wanted dinner, and I'm like, I don't want to eat that crap, but
yeah.
this is what he wants for his birthday. Fine, let me sit down and eat with him.
Yeah.
And how are they going to learn when they get their own kids to make the sacrifices and like what we had to learn and listen to all their stories and do all the things that they want to do if they don't learn it now?
Right. Hey, man, I love that, man. I love that. So now we're gonna get into our end game, and you guys are on the Just Keep Swimming podcast. So I'm always gotta ask every one of my guests, where are you still swimming to? Definitely the parenting.
We're entering a new phase of parenting. When we initially got together, like, everybody was in elementary school, like 2nd grade or younger, toddlers, babies, and now we're entering into the zone of who are you as a person? Like, in 2.5 years, you're graduating.
Yeah.
Like, you have to figure out what you want to do in life, what, like, makes you happy.
What you got a taste for?
And, you know, that along with hormones with the preteens that are, you know, making it to that stage, and still having a kid that's in kindergarten. So, like, we're entering the phase where we're like, okay, we know what to do with the kindergartner. Like, we're
Pro with that.
We're pro. We mastered that. But what do we do with these young adults?
Right.
And that's, like, probably my biggest focus, is to give them freedom, give them their individuality, but still keep them close enough to guide.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm going.
It's like transferring from caregiver to spirit guide.
Exactly. And it's like, even with Anaya, like, I do like hanging out with you. Like, I want to call you my friend, but you're probably gonna fuck up. So I need to probably reel it back and really try and, like,
The delivery.
but I need to really I'm gonna stay close. I'm watching you, and I'll be here if you need me, kind of thing, you know?
I like it.
And for me, it's all those things amplified with trying to, if we're talking about swimming through something, it's a delicate swim of figuring out where our son's gonna go with his ADHD and autism stuff that he has going on, and navigating his life and helping him get to his full potential. It's trying to work through with Anaya and her dad abandonment feels that she constantly has. And I really had to learn that she told me, actually at your guys' house, that she didn't want to call me dad. She didn't want me as a dad figure. She appreciates everything I do, and that's how she feels, and I respect it. You know what I mean? It's cool. I can be Joey, and that's totally fine. But navigating through that course and being delicate of how she feels and not trying to step on her feelings, because I know she already feels some sort of way because of the other guy. Trying to deal with Mariah. Mariah's a very tricky puzzle to crack because she doesn't say a lot. It almost feels like she's emotionless a lot of the time, but she has a lot of emotion. And we don't get it. We have to try to pry things, and even when we try to pry, it doesn't work a lot of the time. So trying to navigate her and making sure she's happy. And then Nikki, of course, we're just starting with Nikki, right? And Nikki is just a kid right now. She's just a baby. And we don't know what she's going to be like when she gets to be 12 years old, or 10 years old, whatever the case may be. So it's a really difficult swim through different rivers, if you will, to the same ocean.
Yeah.
But it's a different path.
Right.
And they're all going to have this different path. And our jobs are very difficult because we have 5 different individuals going down 5 different paths to get to the same ocean.
And they come to you.
And it is so hard to paddle each of those boats with them.
Right.
But that's what we're trying to do.
I like it though.
That's what you guys are going to do. Don't try.
Yeah, you are doing it.
Yes,
You already
yes,
doing
yes,
it.
yes.
Yeah.
And you know where I'm really swimming to?
What?
When the kids are grown, we're gonna have a huge 1-bedroom house with a pool in the backyard. They're gonna be here helping me cook in the kitchen. Grandkids are gonna be swimming in the backyard. Like, our family members are gonna be here barbecuing and video games on the TV.
And all
like,
their cousins will be
yeah,
here.
that's my end game. That's where I'm swimming to. Is we made it, and we're a family, and we love each other.
Everything's
That's
done.
beautiful.
I love it. I love it,
Yeah.
man. And then, before I go to the last question, Joe, you're the very first one to actually say I'm still swimming and still use swimmer references as you're explaining what you're still swimming to.
It just
So I
comes
just
to
have
me.
to say thank you for that.
Oh, no.
Oh, bro.
Yeah, oh, thank
You're
you.
still paddling in different boats. I'm okay.
Yeah.
So I'm acknowledges.
You gotta hop in those different boats. Different people.
Bars right now.
Yeah.
Still swimming. And, so my very last question I ask all my guests. This is probably the only thing I should have warned you guys about. A quote. Is there like a parenting quote or anything you guys use or say a lot, or you like to share with us?
You have one.
What was that?
What is it? You can only do your best until you know better.
Oh yeah, so that's the
Oh.
same quote that I gave you guys before.
Oh yeah.
It's basically do your best until you know better, and then once you know better, do better. And like I said in the last one, that is like the most true statement to anybody's life that you could possibly give.
Because when we were younger and the kids were little, we thought we were doing the right thing,
Yeah.
you know? And then we
Discipline,
learned-
discipline, right?
Yeah.
we
Totally wrong.
learned better, you know, we listened, and now we feel like we're doing better, and we still probably can do better. We just have to keep our ears open.
Yeah. No, I love it. I love it. I love that. I think that's beautiful.
Because like, I don't know, what I'm noticing when I interact with your kids and stuff like that, it's you still have the discipline of my mom instilling, but then you still give them the freedom to express themselves.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's what I love about it.
See, that's the thing too. Like Tiera was talking at the beginning of the podcast. It's like we came from 2 very different backgrounds, right? I know you guys had a talk with your parents a while back. One of the big things was about love.
Yeah.
Well, the expression of love. You guys knew they loved you.
Yeah.
And then my parents be overly affectionate, and I felt like, and I still feel like, her and I, working with the kids, working with each other, we honestly, it sickens me to say it, and I know it sickens her to say it, but we're like morphing into like a same person now. Like our minds.
It's you?
Well, I'm not gonna wear matching clothes with you. You know what I mean? So, but it's just like literally
Sweatsuits.
But literally, no joke, guys, we'll almost say the same things all the time. Like, when a situation happens, I go to work after it happens. She's at home, we'll call each other. I'll say, hey, this is what I think about that. That's exactly what I was just, and it's just like, our minds are just like
They're starting
now
to bond.
forming to one.
No, see,
Married.
that
Yes.
right there is we call that the mastermind principle. So when you get 2 people and you guys are on the same path, you guys start thinking alike, but at the same time, it'll make your goals start happening too.
Yeah.
Your goals start coming true, because what they say, you're two people to ask for it, and you should be. So
yeah, I mean, and it's true. When we first started, I was an apprentice, making like $12 an hour. She was making like 40K. I mean, at her job that she was at MGM, we were both doing way more work. I'm not gonna explicitly tell like what we make now, but it is
way more.
Tremendously more than that. I don't even know how we survived before.
And I work from home.
And yeah, but I think it is though, because we are each other's biggest cheerleaders. Even when we don't believe in ourselves, the other person does, and we bring each other back to that point. And that's the same thing we do for these guys. So it's all a learning thing.
Yeah, no, and you know, I guess like, you know, in the statement is you guys did an amazing job. You know, you guys are doing amazing. You know, like you said, you do see the love, definitely on my dad's side for sure.
Mm-hmm.
We never, like you said, we never did the whole I love you thing, hugs, all that stuff. Every time I see my dad now or leave, you know, I love you, and it's like
He's hugging.
This big old dude is hugging people now.
Yeah, that's what Tiera's saying. She's like, I get a hug every time I go over there.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
And
That's
8
real.
years ago, when I went to his parents' house, I was like, why do they keep touching me? Like, we already hugged. I don't know why we're hugging
But it feels good, right?
Yeah, it feels good to know that your parents love you, you know, and I hate to say it, but like, you know, for us, you know, we had to break the mold, and we had to we had to open their eyes up to let them know, like, yo, we need this. But then they reacted. They're like, you know what, they do need that. It's not too late for us to change, and they started change for us.
Yep.
And
Congrats
I'm
to you guys.
But I'm loving that you guys are doing it right now, though.
Yeah.
So by the time they get to our age, it's gonna be a whole different situations going on. It ain't gonna be no love advice or, you know, oh, dad doesn't love me, I don't know if he loves me. It's gonna be something way different. I don't know if I should buy the Porsche or not.
But it's funny too, because even Lizzie, we just took this long journey back and forth, frustrating for both of us, yada yada yada. We get to the Hamburger Hut, which is amazing.
It is.
And
Check it out.
we're standing in there, and then just randomly she comes up, just hugs me, and hugged me for 25 minutes while we're just standing waiting for the food. Didn't say anything, but
You felt it.
I felt it, right? Like it just makes you feel like, okay,
The love is here.
we got it.
Yeah.
We're cool.
Yeah, no, and that's real. That's real, man. So, yeah, you guys are doing a great job, Joey and Tiera. I truly appreciate
Thank you.
guys.
Thank you.
How you say your
Kudos.
last name, Joey?
Fekete.
Fekete. Yeah, I know I keep messing it up.
You can just say black because that's what it means in Hungarian.
Really, Joey Black.
Joseph
Joe
Black.
Black.
I didn't know you were
Joe
Hungarian.
Black, yeah. Joe Black. Tiera Black.
I'm loving that.
Tiera hella black.
I can't wait until we go somewhere and they don't know that like Joey's coming. I'm like, oh yeah, Black is on the way.
Yeah.
Who's Black? Don't worry about it. Don't look Black in the eyes.
He's coming right now.
He's coming.
Yeah, it's Black. What's Black? Yeah, that's Black. That's Black. I love it. That's Blanco right. Oh yeah. There we go.
Oh, Fekete, bet.
Fekete, love it though. All right, man. So I just want to say I love you guys, and I appreciate you guys for doing this with us today.
Thank you.
Love you too.
Love you too.
Yeah, I felt you guys dropped a lot of knowledge. I felt you helped somebody for sure. You really helped somebody think outside. And if you don't even help anybody outside this room, I hope that we helped you guys today. Help you guys think. Hope they heard it a little bit and feel a little more love on the inside. I will ask anyone to come say something, but I don't know where they at. So
We can ask them if you,
yeah, all right, bet. So we're about to do it then, Joey. I appreciate the okay. So I'm about to bring all my nieces and nephews to the microphone so they can all say something nice about their parents. And we're gonna start off with the Hooper, Miss Mariah. Say something, one thing nice about Joey and Tiera. Just one thing nice, Mariah. Just one thing. You gotta speak up. Ooh, she's struggling. One thing they bought you.
They always spoil us.
Okay.
That's
That's good. I like that. They always spoil us. All right, who up next? Thank you, Mariah. I appreciate your time, niece. You're the best.
It's just a microphone. It ain't gonna
All
slap
right,
you
coming
in
up
the face.
next is the oldest, Miss Anaya. I'm just gonna ask you to say one nice thing about your parents, Joey and Tiera. Say one nice thing, please.
When my blank.
Oh my gosh. Y'all got y'all sister.
I really appreciate them, and I feel like that they have learned a lot and like became better and do better for us and do the best that they can do for us and be the best that they could be. There you go.
Okay.
Okay, they're the best that they can be. I love it. I love it. Thank you, Mariah. Thank you, Anaya. Sorry, Anaya. You wanna go, JoJo? Come on. Come on, JoJo. Come on, JoJo, man. You got it, bro. I just say one thing.
It's okay, JoJo. Don't be nervous.
Yep. So bring it to the microphone. We got the amazing, the only male, Mr. JoJo. JoJo, I just want you to say one nice thing about your dad and Tiera. Just say one nice thing. That's all I'm asking. Just say one nice thing. Just say, you can say I love you. That's all you have to say. Come on, Joe. Talk to me, Joe.
What's one nice thing? What do you like to do with us? How about that?
Do you love us?
Yeah.
Then say that.
Just say I love them.
I love them.
Hey,
Hey,
there
there
we
we
go.
go. We got it. Thank you, JoJo. Thank you so much, JoJo. Give me your hand. Give me your hand.
Next up.
Liz. Come on,
Where's
Liz.
it go there?
Your little brother did it. You gotta do it.
Yeah,
Come on, Liz.
JoJo's there.
Let's go, Liz.
It's
Stand
his
right there.
sister. Liz, go next.
something.
Just say the
And
thing.
he calling you out on the microphone.
Right.
So everybody hearing it now. Now you gotta
All right,
do
let
it.
Nikki go. You think about it for a second. Come here, Nikki.
Come on, Nikki. Come have a seat. All
You gotta
right.
talk loud into here, okay?
So I need you to say one nice thing about your mom and JoJo, or your mom and Joey. Say one nice thing, Nikki.
They are helpful.
Yes, they are helpful. I love it. Thank you, Nikki. Thank you, Nikki. Thank you.
You was the only one that was bold.
Liz, you last but not least. You last but not least, Liz. Come on, Liz.
Come on, Liz.
Come on, Liz. Don't rip their shirt now. That's that thing. Well, that's pure cotton right there. You can't even find that. All right, so bring it to the microphone. Lovely Miss Purple Hair, Miss Lizzie. I love the fresh hairdo, by the way. So I just ask you to say one thing about Joey and Tiera. Just one thing for me.
One good thing?
Just one good thing.
I don't know, they do stuff for us even when they don't want to.
Okay.
Okay.
I love it. Thank you, Liz. You're the best. Thank you, Liz. You're amazing, Liz.
Thank you, Lizzie. Okay.
Yes. So right there, y'all just heard all my nieces and nephews come say one thing. A lot of them are nervous, but family bonding. Family bonding, right? Right there. Family bonding. So you can't beat it. I unplugged y'all mic, actually. That happened? We good?
Yeah, we good.
Okay, so with all that being said, Joey and Tiera, like I said, I appreciate you guys for spending time with us today, for sharing your experiences, and I'm already knowing you guys are gonna help somebody out there in the world, so I truly appreciate the time for you guys. Donovan, bros, appreciate you for another episode, man. You already know, fire. Your dreads are looking really drippy right now.
Hey, they
Looking
don't even know, bro.
Real Migo right now. You know what I'm saying? Stop
Appreciate
watch
it.
looking at us. Yes. But everybody out there listening today, I hope you guys have a wonderful day, a splendid afternoon, a blissful evening. Make sure to check us out on IG, Facebook, TikTok, Twitter, Instagram. I said IG. JKS Podcasts 702@gmail.com. Send us an email. Question, comments, concerns, we'll accept them all. Show ideas, sponsorships, anything that you want to send our way, please send it. We'll truly appreciate it. And I hope you guys have an amazing day, splendid afternoon, blissful evening, and remember, just keep swimming.
Just keep swimming.
Don't even
Thank
say it.
you. Just keep swimming.
Just keep swimming.
Hey.